Capricorn, what's up, baby? Let's do a reading for you. See what's going on in your next, let's just say 6 weeks. Rest of October into November 2025. Let's see what's going on for Capricorn. Been shuffling for a while now. Let's do 3 more shuffles and let's begin. I have the not so easy task of trying to read this reading that Spirit wants somebody to hear, and it's not a message that I want to tell. I feel like one of those guys in the Bible like Jonah or somebody that had a message or was given a message and he didn't want to tell it, didn't want to say it. My channel doesn't want to grow because I keep telling the truth. I could get on here and lie and tickle your ears and make you feel good and make you have hope that something's going to happen. And a lot of tarot readers are doing that on YouTube. They tickle your ears. People give money like you wouldn't believe. I've watched tarot readers do it, deceiving people. And I laid out these cards and I'm like, I don't want to have to tell this message. But if you have ears to hear and you're willing to be honest, you asked, you prayed, and you wanted an answer, this may be your reading. If it isn't, take it how it resonates. Take it with a grain of salt. This is all conjecture. Underneath this whole reading, there is somebody out there that could take action, but they're not taking action. It is a King of Wands in reverse. It is somebody that has the power to do something, but they aren't doing it. Now, where you are at this time, Capricorn, you're looking good, you're smelling good, you're walking in or riding in on that victory horse, getting lots of attention. And the potential challenge that you are facing is somebody is being dishonest. They are not telling you everything. They are not giving you all the information. Underneath in your subconscious, the Emperor, this is a father, but this is a very powerful individual that I feel you are and you want to be. But in your hopes and fears, the Hermit, in your hopes and fears, which is a part of your subconscious, and the Hermit in reverse, to me, these are both major arcanas, but what it means to me is that you are not able to be this energy because you're not finding the way or you're not seeing something that has to do with being the Emperor. In the recent past, I felt that you were guided, misguided, Temperance to the 8 of Swords. You were misguided. You thought that something was telling you to go a certain way and you couldn't see, and you did something by faith. You did something, you may have been carried away by your heart and by your emotions, but you went with your heart. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Usually when a person falls in love, you ignore certain things that you're seeing. Maybe even red flags are coming up and you're ignoring these red flags. And whatever the case is, you went with your emotions, you went with what you couldn't see, you went by faith. And I believe that now what has happened is there was a tower moment. And you are looking at the wreckage of a tower moment because something went to shits with this person. In your advice, Spirit says to take a look at what this person did. You know, and people always say, well, forgive, 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 and you're always supposed to forgive, and we're always being told to forgive, and yes, you should forgive. But that doesn't mean that we forget, and that doesn't mean that you don't understand that this person, whoever this person is, if Spirit is telling you to leave it alone, says quite a bit, because yes, you are to forgive. But you cannot forget what they did, and they will do it again. Abusers, narcissists, and people like this, they do it again. They feed off of your pain. External influences to your situation. What is affecting your situation? Somebody's refusal to take a chance, to take a leap of faith. Major arcana. They're not going to do it. And now, what lies before you is the Four of Wands in reverse. I just had a reading with another sign. I don't remember who it was, but this card came up. And one of the things that this card represents, or can represent in the reverse, is childhood wounding. And when I take a look at this line right here, and I move these over, and we just look at this line, what lies before you, your advice and your overall projected outcome. Spirit says you need to look. This explosion that has happened, this tower moment that happened, I feel it's happened before because you felt guided to do something without really looking at the ramifications of somebody that is doing this shit right here, being Mr. Sneaky, withholding information. Spirit says, if you don't deal with this, you're going to end up not seeing a door, not seeing an opportunity, not seeing a gateway that you can go through. This gateway is a new opportunity, a new journey that is probably better than the one that you're hoping for, Cap. Now, the other thing that Four of Wands in reverse speaks to is childhood wounding. And I wanted to bring it up because in your advice, you're to take a look at this heartbreak and betrayal. Some of you, this can be that you are actually triggering some type of childhood wounding. And you will never stop finding out things about yourself. But one of the things that I have found about myself is how many years I was wounded and doing things in a repetitive way over and over and over, putting myself in the same situation and not realizing that I was basically doing things in a pattern. And it all comes back to childhood wounding. Many times we go to a relationship expecting something, or we expect something from somebody and they have no idea. You're in a dream world, and a lot of times what happens to us is we're in a dream world and we have this idea, this fantasy about how it's supposed to be with this person. And when it doesn't happen, we end up causing a disruption, causing a blow up or a breakdown or a catastrophe or a tower moment, and we end up getting hurt. But the hurt was already there. We just brought it from one connection to the next. You go from one connection, you get out of that one, and boom, you're right into another one. And you take the pain with you to the next one, and you keep carrying it. Something that happened in your childhood, and you got to let it go, Cap. That's all there is to it. You got to let it go. You can't do anything about it. You can't change it. It's like me. I was beat. I've had a fight on the way to school, on the way home to school. I had so many black eyes and broken nose. I got knocked out with the steel conduit, and I looked like a Klingon for a month. I had this big old knot up here on my forehead. I was molested. I was in drugs. I've been shot at. I've been in jail. I've been in mental institutions. And I can tell you that the pain never ends, but you never quit learning about yourself. And as soon as you let go, like I had to let go of all that pain, I could either I could make a choice. I could either sit there and look at all the fucking shit that was done to me, or I can pick myself back up, stand up, shake the cobwebs off, and keep stepping forward to a better day, which is what millions of people, our ancestors, it's what they did. They didn't have psychology back then. They just had their families, and they were lucky if they had that, because many times they didn't have anybody. Your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa might have been a hobo or some kind of crazy shit and had to go through some really bad times. But what I'm getting at is, try to find what is hurting you, Cap. What is it from your childhood that hurts you? Maybe you're something like me. I had a very connection from my mother when I took care of my mom. My first memories of my mom are changing her vomit bucket out. Okay? 5 years old, 6 years old, pulling up a chair and opening up the freezer and filling her ice pack up. She had severe migraine headache. She'd be in bed for 3 days straight in total darkness. And then when my mom wasn't sick, she ignored me. She'd bring men home, and there was a lot of things that happened that weren't good for a child to see. And so for most of my life, I've had a very bad connection with women. I mean, I've never understood women. I'm not a person that can talk about love. You know what I mean? Like, I can talk to you about survival. I can talk to you about getting through hard times and what I've done to maintain balance. But when it comes to love, I have no damn clue. But what I can tell you is I'm getting better. Every year, I learn a little bit more. And the older you get, the more you start understanding why you went through some of the things that you went through, why it was important that you did go through them, because it makes you a better person. And I believe that had it not been for this thing to happen, and this tower to happen, and this tower to happen, that it wouldn't have forced me to do the next move. And that next move was what sent me down this other path. And you have to have faith. For me, I believe in God. I believe in Yeshua. That is my God. And for me, I put my trust in him. That's how I maintain my balance. That's how I get my pieces. I don't let it all build up on me. My God says that I can dump all my burdens on him, and he'll take care of it. And I have faith that he'll do it. I don't know how. There are certain things that are going on in my life, and I'm like, I don't know how this is going to get better, Lord. I really don't. I don't see how this is going to get better. Everything is getting worse. But yet, I stay in balance because I know that there's something more powerful than me. And greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. There's all kinds of ways that you can strengthen your faith and withstand things that are going on. But if you don't face this thing that happened in your childhood and deal with it and let it go and release it, and especially if it has to do with you forgiving somebody, because let's face it, man, people have hurt us, right? But you have to forgive them. You have to forgive your parents. The number one blockage in America, I believe, is unforgiveness to their parents, because they expected their parents to be perfect and give them and us and me and you a perfect life, and they didn't do it. In fact, they let us down so bad. I remember times coming in and I'd be bloodied and bashed, and my mom would tell me to shut up and go to my room. I didn't get any hugs. I'd get home from school, I'd have a black eye. I didn't get any hugs. I had to go back out and do it again. There was no staying home from school, although I did a lot of that too, But I seen horrible things growing up, and I had to survive. I had to fight to survive, and you have to fight to survive. Part of the problem is we've taught people to give up and start, and we don't encourage each other to get back up. You cannot stay down. You cannot stay in the pits like this. You got to get up. We got to go do something, because this thing right here is a door that is closed, that is not opening And by that door being closed and not opening, and you possibly, I hope you're not doing this, but I think that you did, at least you did it in the past, is you waited for this person in blind faith. And if you're anything like me, maybe you've even gone to some tarot readings and you listen to somebody and they say, your person's coming back, you know, it's all going to be great. And it gives you a little bit more hope to keep holding on. This message is for somebody that Spirit wants you to know to let go. It might not even be this person's fault, but you've brought something to the table here to where I think it came from your childhood and you've been carrying it around. And this person is just the person that it unfolded on. It could have been somebody else. It was going to happen because you are carrying something around from your childhood that you have to let go. You have to realize there's nothing you can do about it, Capricorn. The only thing you can do about it is what you do from this day forward. Are you going to let this thing destroy your life and ruin your life? Or are you going to let it go and realize, hey, there's another opportunity. There's another opportunity. There's another portal. There's another portal. But if you don't take a look at that heartbreak, I feel like you're just going to keep going in a cycle. It's not good for you, Capricorn. Somebody's got to love you enough to tell you that it's okay to let this person go. You know, one of the things that can happen to you is sometimes you're so scared to let it go because it's all you've known for maybe, who knows how long, it could be years that you've been holding on to somebody. And it's hard to let go because one of the things from experience, where I've held on way too damn long. I mean, I should have seen that I should have recognized what was happening. And I held on. And there came a point to where I wasn't holding on anymore, or I was letting go somewhat, and I'd catch myself, oh, I'm letting go. And so then I have to feel again and ruminate. And then you do this I did this, I believe, because I was scared to let go. I didn't know if I would feel again by letting go. What's going to happen to me? Am I going to forget this? And then the next time something happens, I don't have this thing that I'm carrying? Because that's what it is. It's something that you're literally carrying. You're literally hanging on to it. 4 Pentacles. Holding on and hanging on for dear life to that fucking hurt. And you're bringing it into all these connections. You got to let it go, Capricorn. If you found yourself getting resonated with this message, hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you could be alerted when I upload new videos. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.